Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It has been a very long time since we've posted on our YouTube channel, and there is a pretty good reason why. But first, we just want to say hi, and we've missed being on here. We've missed sharing content and creating content, and just sharing our lives and our journey, especially here in Mauritius. The last video we posted was in October. The reason I know that because it was our wedding anniversary.
Yep, 9 years.
Which is October the 12th. I always think it's the 13th. I think that's the day it was going to be, and then it changed to the 12th.
It was supposed to be the 13th.
Yeah. So October the 12th. Yeah, the place we were going to get married at, it turned out that they had the 12th available, and that's the day we got married. But yeah, that was the last day we posted a full video on YouTube. And our plan wasn't to stop posting. We actually have a few videos that we made that are like we filmed and stuff, but we never actually
we never got around
finished.
To posting. Maybe we should do that.
Throwbacks like 6 months ago, however long ago it was now. But videos that we actually filmed and stuff and planned to share and never did. But that's because on the day we posted our last video, which I think was the Botanical Gardens, I think that was the video that we made.
Don't remember.
We also had other things happen on that day. So it was our 9-year wedding anniversary, and I had been keeping a little secret from Bruce. And we had, for a lot of you guys know that we had been trying to fall pregnant ever since Freya, I think, turned 1, actually. We had started trying from that point because it took a year to fall pregnant with her. So we thought, let's start trying. It might take a year, it might take 2 years. Like, let's just try now and see how it goes. So if you've been following along, you may know that. But yeah, I shared the news that I was pregnant with Bruce. Had a little bag, little pajama outfit that Freya had actually worn, and some positive pregnancy tests. And
I was like, we decided not to get each other gifts, and what is this? And she's like, oh, don't worry, it's just something small, and blah, 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 whatever. And then when I opened it and I saw the little baby grow onesie pajama thingy and the pregnancy test, obviously I was
in shock. Surprised.
In shock. It was surprised, but it was amazing. And I was like, this is incredible, so excited.
I had been, there had been a part of me that had been a little bit nervous, and that's why I didn't tell him right away. I, kept on taking test after test, and it was positive. And anyways, that same day on our anniversary, I ended up starting to bleed. And I kind of immediately knew that I was having an early miscarriage. And it was very hard.
Yeah, it was one of those things that you want to like, you don't want to believe, you don't want to resign yourself to the fact that this is happening. You almost want to be like, no, this is normal, these things happen. You go on Google and you see stories of like, oh, this is not completely uncommon and whatever. And then as the day went on, the hope kind of slowly started descending, and the dread and just, I guess, trauma and pain was just starting to escalate,
Yeah, it was
hard.
Really hard, really painful. I remember that night I had such a headache, be it to hormones, be it to crying.
Yeah.
I just sobbed, and we sobbed together and separately. And it was something that we had both wanted for so long. And to have that, brief moment of celebrating to then be just kind of snatched from you was heartbreaking. So that being the case, we didn't intend to stop filming videos. We just intended to take a break. We intended to go through the grief of it and experience that together, how long that looked like. And we decided soon after that we would start trying. I shared about it on my Instagram, and I had so many amazing messages come through from people that had gone through miscarriages before, and encouraging messages. Oh, like this happened to me, and then we had our rainbow baby, and So we were hopeful. We were really hopeful. We ended up in November going to Dubai. Bruce had a work trip there, and Freya and I went along. And we decided we'd start trying again. And in December, we found out that we were pregnant. Went and got blood work done, confirmed the pregnancy. And
we were thinking, awesome, Christmas, this is such a great Christmas gift for our
family,
relatives and, all that
tell
kind
our
of stuff.
parents and, having another grandbaby, and just, we were really excited. And, we were praying over it, praying over the baby, and just declaring that this one would be our rainbow baby. And then soon after, again, we had an early miscarriage. They actually call them chemical pregnancies. They're very early on. So you're like 5 weeks pregnant. But baby hasn't actually implanted properly yet, or at all sometimes. So that, I remember I woke up, we were sleeping, and then I woke up and I went to the bathroom. Yeah, we were home. It was in December.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the first week of December, I think. Went into the bathroom and just saw so much blood. And it was just a horrible feeling. I just remember saying, no. And wishing I could just wish it away, and then it wasn't happening again. And I didn't want to wake up Bruce. I just let him sleep and went to the couch, and the Christmas tree was up and lights were on. It was still a little bit dark outside, and I just cried on the couch. And then Bruce came out and found me, and we cried together. And I was sad, and I was also angry. Yeah. I think the first time I was just heartbroken. The second time I was angry that this was happening to us again. And then we tried again and ended up having another chemical pregnancy in Feb of this year. And so then I just felt numb. Yeah. I don't know how you felt the second and the third time.
Yeah, similar. I think definitely I experienced I think it's hard when there's nothing you can do. It kind of feels like, with grief, everyone experiences grief, but everyone processes it differently and stuff. But I think for me, it just felt like there's nothing I can do. There's no right words to say. There's no nothing. And I think, when you experience it once, it's heartbreaking. Second time, I think I experienced that like sort of anger again, like, no, like this has happened again. Like, and then the third time, I felt helpless. I think maybe that's because not only am I processing the loss for myself, I'm also watching Denae go through the pain of losing 3 babies in a row. So, it's not like, oh, you get used to it. No, it's very, very difficult. And I think there was nothing I could do. I couldn't help her in any way. I could only just be there for her. I could only just grieve with her, really. That's what we did, I didn't try and make it better. I didn't try and find any silver linings, because honestly, there's no silver linings.
There's no silver lining.
There is no silver lining. Yeah. First time you can kind of maybe put a little bit of a silver lining on it and say, well, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it's for the best, but don't worry, these things happen.
I think the silver lining that we saw with the first one was that we were able to fall pregnant, because I had been breastfeeding Freya up until she was 2.5, and we had been recommended by fertility specialists to stop breastfeeding and then start trying again and see what happens. And that's what we did after we settled here in Mauritius, and then we fell pregnant straight away. And so we said, well, at least we know why we weren't falling pregnant before was because of breastfeeding. They say that sometimes that happens for women. It's not always the case, but it did. For us, it prevented us from falling pregnant. Yeah. So there was a silver lining in that sense. We were like, well, we know we're able to fall pregnant now. Yeah. There's that. But then after 3 miscarriages, like something's wrong. After one, you can be like, okay, something wasn't right, and this is just my body, saying that this wasn't a viable pregnancy. But after 3, like, okay, something's wrong with me, like something's a matter. And after the third one, I went into like a bit of a depression state. Just was so numb. I felt so numb, and I remember saying to my sister that I don't feel anything. And she who has dealt with depression before, she was like, that sounds a lot like depression. And I was like, oh, and never having had depression before, I was like, okay, I didn't know that what depression could feel like that, can feel numb. And sorry. Yeah. So it was a hard time, and
it's compounded as well. I think, like, you know, when you are dealing with grief, other things in your life that might not be difficult, or you can maybe deal with because you're like, okay, cool, like this is life, things happen. When other things come around, it gets, you know, so much more difficult to deal with. Yeah. You know, even just like processing, you know, stuff here in Mauritius, we've moved, you know, we've left a lot of friends behind. It's a new life and that kind of stuff. It got really hard to be in a different place where you don't have a you know, your usual support system. You don't, you know, we thankfully have some family here. I think that was a huge, you know, thing for us, knowing that we have family that could help with Freya. We could drop her off if we needed to, I don't know, just have some time alone. But I think things got difficult and it all just kind of started piling on top of each other, I think.
Yeah, I think you miss the community that you used to have. When you move to a new country, you don't have that same sense of community and long-term friends that you've had for a long time. So, so that was a really difficult season. Really hard. But from that, there's been a lot of growth that's happened, like between us as a couple, as in our marriage, and then also as individuals. And I remember just deciding one day, just being like, okay, I'm going to decide whether I'm happy or not. I'm going to make the choice. I'm going to do things that make me happy. And one of those things was surfing. We started to surf. Definitely kooks at it, but we started to surf here in the west of Mauritius, and we love it. It's super fun, and we've been enjoying it. And we got a surfboard after stealing our friends for a long time. Got a surfboard, and I've been surfing, and that really brought some healing for me. Just getting out on the ocean, and I think the ocean can be really healing. And so that was helpful. That really brought a lot of life to me and almost gave me something to focus on and do that I really enjoyed. And we made some new friends, and got Freya settled in school, which she now loves. And so there's a lot of positive things that have happened over the last few months.
Kept us afloat, to be honest.
Yeah. It really did. And
it really did. Kept our heads above water in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And there's still lots going on in our lives and lots of change and lots of unknowns. And we felt like we've been in this middle phase for a while this year. And still some unknown things that are kind of lingering. I don't know, it's vague. Hopefully we can share more later. But yeah, we feel like we're kind of ready to share this, talk about it. We're not making any promises of future videos or schedules but we just figured if we're gonna come back onto YouTube, if we're gonna start making videos again, which we wanted to because it does bring us so much joy.
Yeah, we love it.
We knew we needed to start here. Yeah. We couldn't skip over it. And I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow and that we follow share openly about their grief and their loss as it happens. And we just are the kind of people that wanted to grieve privately and wanted to process privately. And as much as there's moments where I wanted to share, but I was just in such a broken state that I couldn't. And we've had this discussion of making this video multiple times, and just months ago. And I just wasn't in the place where I felt like I could do it. And so now definitely feel like I'm in a better place. We've actually been, for the last 3-4 months now, have been going through a healing journey for my body. I've started acupuncture. So doing acupuncture and herbal medicine to heal my body and to prepare it to hold a baby. So we are hopeful that has worked. It won't go into depth into that because I think that's a whole nother video.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But there's a lot of success stories with acupuncture. My sister Hannah is actually studying in New York right now. So she's the one, thank you, Hannah, who actually told me about acupuncture and how amazing it can be and how amazing it can be for people going through infertility. So hopefully we can tell that story, that journey at a later stage, in a later video, and hopefully have a success story as we are now trying again to fall pregnant after taking, I guess, like 4 or 5 month break from trying after the last miscarriage. So yeah, we're in a hopeful place, and yeah, we're, I think, in a good place to share this. And
it feels like the start of a new chapter in a way for us in our lives. And I think just in general, just life in general, it feels like the last year, moving to Mauritius and living in Mauritius, the last year has been, it's had its ups and downs. It's been quite, there's been challenges. It's been amazing in a lot of ways. We've had an opportunity to live a completely different life to what we're used to living. And we've loved so many aspects of that. And now it feels like we've gotten past that initial moving phase, that initial...
Yeah, that 1 year mark.
That 1 year mark, yeah.
1 year, beginning of this month, hey? Or end of last month, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been in Mauritius for 1 year now, calling it home. And I think 1 year is a big milestone whenever you move to a new country.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we made it past that 1 year. Now, I mean, there's other challenges that come with that. It's,
things are waiting on, things
exactly.
that are in, motion, but not yet ready for us. There's plans to go ahead. We're actually going to be moving in August, which is crazy. We've been in this apartment for a year, and it's been so good to us. And we have an opportunity to move somewhere a little bit closer to the ocean, which we're really excited about, and hopefully we can share that with you guys. It's going to be a bit sparse because this place was fully furnished. And like we didn't have to buy a kettle or anything or a toaster. Like now we're having to buy lots of new things for the new place. But it has a few things. So we're going to slowly add to it, but it's not going to be like a fully furnished place. But it has a yard for Freya, and that was something that we wanted. We've always lived in apartments, and this new place has a yard for Freya. And it actually has friends across the road, so we're super excited about that. I think it's going to be, again, like it feels like there's just newness in the air. And so I'm hoping that kind of continues everywhere in our life.
Yeah. It feels like that.
But it feels positive. So I think maybe we'll leave it on that note.
Yeah. We'll probably go into more detail about kind of how some of the things that we did to kind of help, keep us sane over the last few months. Some of the things that were, that other people helped, that helped, and, that kind of stuff. So, for people who've experienced this, or people who maybe you've seen family members go through this and you don't know how to help them, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. This is very common. It's after going through it, when you do some research,
I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women go through miscarriage. So it is very common, and many women go through this, couples go through this, and it's something that I think it's good that people are talking about, because you can feel less alone when you know that someone else is going through it as well. But I think we could definitely go into it more and talk about it more, and how we both dealt with that grief and are dealing with that grief, and maybe we go through it more of like a podcast kind of setting.
Like questions.
Questions. So if you have any questions for us, feel free to drop them in the comments below.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then maybe we can do a follow-up video on that if you do have any.
And don't feel like you don't want to ask questions because they might be too personal or sensitive or whatever. If they are, then we just won't answer them. Ask away.
Yeah, we're open books. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this video, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.